They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
Magic. Hey, what's up, everyone? Give us a second.
Are we even in yet? What's the music? What's going on?
It's a new day. Yeah.
What is happening? Are we?
Now, the difference with what you're hearing right now is that we're playing the intro through our soundboard now, not in the editing. So now we're listening to it in real time. So
That was weird.
we're getting fancy. So normally in editing, that would be at a really low tone. So you wouldn't be hearing it as much, you know?
Okay,
But
yeah.
now we just hear it full ball.
I was proper hearing it then.
I probably could have just pulled the volume down, but we keep it real.
Now, first things first, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today is day number 9 of the podcast. And by 9, I mean week number 9.
Yes, this is the Magic Guys podcast where we take your questions and we give you advice for the modern era from a magician's point of view. I'm Josh Norbito, that's Jason Ma, and he is drinking Gatorade.
No. Read the cup.
Liquid fluid. And that's all we're going to say about that for this episode.
So that'll be available on our Etsy.
So a little bit's gone by since we last stopped in here. I mean, where do we start? We had a 3-day lockdown in Brisbane. Why don't
Yeah,
we
but
start
for
with that?
magicians, it was really like a 2-week lockdown.
Yeah.
Really, if we're honest.
Yeah, so what happened?
rough.
We've been so lucky in Brisbane, but they had a few cases that were a little too close to home.
They had one case.
Yeah, that's what I meant by a few. Just one. One case, lock everything down. And they did. So for 3 days, everything was locked down. But for me, and I'm sure for you, but for me, all my clients that were having events this month all cancelled. So they all postponed till later in the year, which is fine. But now all of a sudden my calendar is very available.
So new street magic episodes coming in on our channel, left and right.
Yeah, lots of magics coming up. I've had time to put into a lot of content, but they all cancelled. And then after the 3-day lockdown finished, everyone still has to wear a mask when you leave the house for 10 days. So that still means we can't do magic. How are things with you? Because I haven't even seen you in that time.
Well, things were going good. I had a really creative run there with the 365 challenge. I was making some good videos, man. I was doing well. And then I hit my wall. I just hit my wall. I don't know what happened as well, but my sleep got absolutely rorted. I think because my routine changed so much. Because normally it was like wake up, go to the gym, make a video, do my gigs. You know what I mean? I had this structure.
Yeah.
But then once the lockdown hit, that structure just went to complete shit.
When was the last gym session you had?
About 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks. Yeah. Soft. Those street magicians.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So in the last 10 days, I went to the gym, but the sucky thing was we had to wear a mask. So you're wearing a mask while you're training, and that's great and all. But as soon as you start, you know, you
were allowed to go to the gym?
Yeah, the gym was open. Not during the 3 days, but after that, you could. But as soon as your heart rate goes up and you're breathing heavy, it sucks because you're like just breathing into this fabric mask that stops.
Damn.
Yeah. Corporate magicians.
How are those gains, huh? They're going well?
They are going well. Improving on the deadlifts and the bench press, you know.
Yeah. Well, those important things.
Yeah, all those important things. But
You think you're improving on the lift? You should see my double lift, man.
Ooh, buddy.
Anyway, look, back to business though.
Yeah.
Guys, how have you been? Tell us all about it.
In the comments, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, any other news, Josh? Tell us what's been happening.
Yeah. Look, no events have happened since filming because everything stopped. I feel like something happened. Oh, hit a new milestone on my YouTube, on the tubes.
Tell us all about that.
All right. Hit 2,000 subs.
How'd you feel?
I felt...
Was it everything you ever hoped and more? Like when you hit that 2K, was it like, oh, you know?
It was good. For the longest time, I'd been anticipating it. I think, when we first started filming vlogs, I was showing off that I was on like 1,100.
Yeah, you were flexing on me.
Yeah.
You were like, I've got more than you.
Yeah. And so it felt good to now be at the next tier. Really it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't change anything, but it felt good just to let me know I'm on track with the YouTube progression. So a lot of people who listen to this that watch my videos would have seen I put up a 2000 thank you video. I did this virtual treasure hunt, which I noticed you didn't take part in, but
Well, because I thought it would be unfair if I took part in it because I filmed most of it.
but the shipping would have been so much cheaper. So I gave away a signed Dynamo playing card, but I did this treasure hunt where you had to go and find out the answers from other videos of mine and stuff. So thank you, analytics. It really boosted up my video views, but also let people know a little bit more about me.
Really? Did you let them know that you do magic?
I did. I do magic.
Well,
You know, in our last episode, someone was like, "Oh, that's such a anticlimactic ending," because I said, and just remember, and you went, "We do magic," and I went, and then it just ended. And so maybe that's the way we should always end.
well, this time, no, we'll make it more epic this time.
All right.
Like, we'll fight like 10 guys for you guys. All right. How's that?
Yeah. Is that good?
We can do that now.
Yeah, we can do so many things.
So unnecessary.
Yeah, like tell me a joke, Jason.
No, you're going to hit the crickets button.
No, I won't.
All right, fine. I got to think of a joke. I don't know any. You tell me a joke.
Because he's dumb.
You really timed those shots, didn't you?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. The double finger hits.
That's how he's
Bloody hell.
maintained his relationship for 8 years.
Look, let's what do you say? My relationship's sad?
No, because you double think. Okay, whatever. Okay.
Let's jump into a question. How about we do that? This is a long-time listener, first-time questioner from Odd. Our mate Odd. On the 365 videos, he's always the one that says, "For the algorithm." And that's how I imagine him saying it.
You know, I can always tell when he really likes a video too, because he can comment something else besides for the algorithm.
There's two comments.
I can tell when he's like showing support, and then when he's like really likes a video, he'll actually like ask questions about it, or like, you know, it's quite funny.
Awesome. So yeah, he brought in 2 questions. Let's jump right into one.
Not that one. Oh,
Too late.
How's the magic, guys? This is Odd here from Joburg, South Africa. I first picked up a deck of cards a little over a year ago. Been practicing magic like crazy ever since. Just as I was getting confident enough to go out performing in public, COVID hit and that stopped everything, right? So I'm still practicing and going to get into it when we can get out again. But my question for you is, if you're doing shows, corporate events, whatever the case is, street magic, do you think you can do it with just a deck of cards? Should I be picking up some different gimmicks, some different stuff, rings, ropes, coins, that sort of stuff? Super interested to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
I like this question a lot.
Yeah, thanks for the question, man.
It's a good question. It's
Where do we start? There's so much to dive into there.
I think we've said something before where we said, pretty sure it was on the podcast.
We gave the advice of what to learn.
Where I think all my content just blurs together now, but
So
we
I think-
vaguely remembered saying that you know, the best card guys already exist. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish, though.
That's right. I mean,
Right.
he's talking about entertaining people.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
to entertain people, like, you know, let's say you're going to a gig. Now, you can definitely entertain for hours with cards, for sure. Like, I've done whole street shows where I built crowds of like 200 people with just the deck of cards. So it's very doable. But when you do like corporate gigs and stuff, there's a point, I think, where they'll say, "Can you do anything else?" You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think that comes up a lot. And so if you're like, you know, check it out, boom, is that your card? And then you follow it up quickly with a bam, is that also your card? And then they say, "Hey, can you do something with this 50 cents?" And you go, "Is this your card?" You know?
I think one of my fond moments of going to Magic Live back in 2018, massive, big, second world's, is that right? The second largest magic convention for magicians in Vegas, and I was in the jamming session room, and Arzi Wind was doing card magic around this big table. 50 magicians all piled in, just standing up, watching, standing over people, all that kind of stuff. He's doing great magic, right? And someone asked him that exact question. They go, "Here, can you do something with these 2 coins?" And without skipping a beat, he picks the 2 coins up and he goes, "All right, let me do some beautiful coin magic for you." And he does a thing that only lasts for 2 seconds. He does a Homer Leewag bit where, Ponta the Smith where you have 2 coins and you tap them and then they jump into one hand. And then he goes, okay, now back to cards. And it was such a comical moment. But the fact that he could pick it up and do that straight away was really great, because obviously if he never learned anything with cards, he would have picked them up and been like, oh, I don't know what to do,
Anything with coins. But yeah.
with coins, yeah. So
I think diversifying your skill set it can only be a good thing, right?
Absolutely.
And not only that, I think every magician starts out exactly because he's saying that he just started doing magic, right? And I think everyone starts the same way, where they pick up a deck of cards and then they predominantly just do card tricks. But when you start doing coin tricks and rubber band tricks, all this other stuff, there's like different acting and different actions that come with it that actually help your card magic. Like flow, for example. Like, people are like, oh, how are you so smooth with your card handling and stuff? And truthfully, that comes from coin magic, because you learn flow. And then once you learn how to flow things together, it just starts being a bit more smooth, because coin magic is like 90% acting. Obviously, the sleight of hand comes into play too, but like,
I get you.
There's that aggressive, like it's in the other hand,
and
stigma.
you yourself have to act and imagine that the coin is still here, if it isn't, in fact.
And that goes the same with card magic too, because like when you palm a card, for example, and there's that immediate guilt of the fact that you're holding out this card. But if you can learn to just, not feel that guilt at all and just be like, this hand is empty. Even if you've got a card there, this hand is empty. Like, there's no reason to even think anything of it. Then, and that I think that comes from coin magic, personally. I think it comes from learning other styles of magic, because card magic is kind of free in essence. And when I say free, I mean, like, obviously it's still very good, but, you can hide stuff with the deck, right? Like the deck does a lot of work for you.
Yeah, there's none of those. It's very rare that you have those moments. Maybe palming is the exception, but there's very few moments where it's like you're worried about something being in your other hand or whatever.
Exactly,
like cards, you're right. Everything can be hidden within the deck. And obviously there's so many different ways you can reveal a card, so it's very tempting to just stick with cards. But with Odd, what I'm assuming is that you enjoy card magic. You watch a lot of tutorials or videos, and it's when you first start out, obviously you perform or that you practice stuff that you like. So it's very easy to like card magic, and that's obviously why you become really good with cards. And now what you need to do, in my opinion, is just find other props, find material that you like performing with other objects. Because what we've been saying, it's definitely a real highlight when you're performing, and then you can switch and perform with another object. For some reason, if you're performing, like, for example, if you're performing a whole night just doing intense sleight of hand, let's say you're doing intense sleight of hand card tricks, and then for one routine, you do a trick where you don't touch the cards at all.
Just French drop a coin, just banish a coin, boom.
Oh, for sure. But with cards specifically, like if you're doing intense sleight of hand and then all of a sudden you do an effect where you don't touch the cards, people will remember that one effect because that was so different to everything else you were doing. Like if you do a haunted deck routine where the cards separate by themselves and jump out, or the spectator finds the card themselves or whatever, that's so different to all the other magic you were doing, even with the same prop. So imagine if you then changed it to a coin and did a French drop. Rubber band magic is easy to have on you. Learn some mentalism. Can't go wrong with mentalism.
I mean, you can if you get it wrong.
Yeah, definitely don't do Russian roulette, please, for fuck's sake. But
you know what I always find funny too. This is like related, but it's like also not quite related. Is the number of magicians who can do ring magic, but they can't do coin magic. You notice that?
Yeah, we laugh at them.
But for real though, have you noticed that?
So they can do ring magic, can't do coin magic. Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's actually a really common thing.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is get a ring and then throw that thing away and get yourself some coins.
Yeah. In essence, you should be able to do magic with items that people would have on them or have around them. Coins, rings.
Sugar packet.
Nice.
True, man.
Straws. There's some nice effects with straws.
Some good stuff with straws, actually.
I went through a phase once where I was trying to be very Greg Wilson, and I was trying to go to gigs and not use cards.
Yeah.
And I was really trying to up my repertoire because I went through this phase of thinking like that is what I should be doing, is steering away from cards. Mm-hmm. And so I really worked up my repertoire, and that's when I started using the blank double blank face decks.
Yeah.
So I was just getting people to sign a blank card and doing a routine with a blank deck because somewhat in my head that meant it wasn't a card trick. But I was doing like ring and string and coins, and I was just trying to make sure I did stuff without cards so I could rely on myself. Like, because I reckon, have you ever had this? In my career, I've had maybe...
You have a career?
Well,
damn, you're lucky.
I'm waiting for it to kick back up again. But we're enjoying this soundboard.
You're just smashing that soundboard, aren't you?
Yeah, buddy.
We're going to have to replace the buttons after this.
I mean, we paid for it, so... So
$2.5 grand, baby.
Yeah, in my 9 years of doing gigs, maybe twice I've had people specifically say, "Can you not do card tricks at this event?" But the reason they say that is they don't understand what card magic is. They just think card tricks are, your card will be in this pile, cross it this way and count 21 cards. So in their head, they're like, "Can you please not do any card tricks?" So because of that, I wanted to make sure I could if I needed to, even though I know if they actually saw what card magic looks like, they just have no idea. This was pre me having a promo video, but some people have, they just have that perception of cards. How many times do we hear it? Like, "Oh, I've seen this one before." And you're like, "Oh, really? All right. You've seen this card be signed and then torn and put back together."
You're like halfway through a Mercury fold. I've seen this trick before. Oh shit!
You watch David Stone as well.
You're about to reveal the bolted gimmick. You're just like,
yeah, yeah.
Only just got released like 2 years ago. Okay, sure.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, it's funny. So yeah, keep going, keep learning new stuff. You got this, buddy.
And remember, magicians that don't do coin magic are pussies. It's true. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, speaking of coin magic, should we
do some coin magic right now? Hell yeah. Well, look how prepared I am. I'm always carrying coins around. This right here is a massive coin, and I can take it. Gone. I don't know how long I can sit here like this.
No, but I mean the fact that David Roth passed away.
Oh shit. Yeah, we're just gonna go there, huh?
Yeah. The king of coin magic. He set the path for everyone to learn. I think we all learned from him. Even the people we learned from him.
There was this like beautiful moment on the Penn and Teller Phyllis show where he went on there. Full well knowing that he didn't fool them, but they still, and their reasoning was too, is because if it wasn't for David Roth, they wouldn't know this stuff because he's like the OG creator of, like, he's the coin guy.
Yeah.
Prior to him, I remember there was a lecture with him in it. It was David Roth's lecture. So yeah, it was. But anyway, he said prior to recent years, coin magic was like you would take the coin and then vanish it, and that was the trick. And then he turned it in. He said, "Why can't coin magic be as routined as card magic?" And that's why you've got things like coins across or the one. I can't remember the name of the trick, but I love it. I do love it. Where you take a coin, you turn it to copper, you put it in the glass.
Yeah, I think that's what he does on Penn and Teller, is it not?
He does way more than that. He does heaps of stuff. But
I'll put the link to his Penn and Teller Fool Us video below because I think everyone should watch it. If you're a non-magician, what we're talking about is one of the OGs of magic. He founded the coin magic you see today. And I don't know exactly how old he was, like in his 70s perhaps.
He's getting on.
Yeah, but he was on Penn and Teller Fool Us only I feel like it was like only last year or the year before
I think it was longer, but yeah.
So recently,
like 4 years ago or something.
Yeah. So
he's
many of us.
Amazing performer though.
I think every magician owes part of their career to David Roth.
It's like the hanging. Yeah, I think like almost everyone made some kind of homage. To him. Like
So
absolute champion. We lost a lot of magicians in that same week. We lost Siegfried.
Yeah, Siegfried, man.
So Siegfried, David Roth, and there was one other one. The other guy.
Yeah, the other guy.
Yeah.
To those guys, thank you for your contribution to magic. Okay, odd second question.
How many questions does this guy get?
2.
Okay. That's good.
For the algorithm.
I like Odd. He's
How's the
good.
magic, guys?
Hey, bro.
Odd here from Joburg, South Africa.
Still there.
I would like to know if you guys use gaff cards in your decks for magic performances. I mean, real life performances, not video 365 challenge stuff, but if you're actually out in the wild interacting with real people, how many gaff cards do you use, if any? And if you do, what's your favorite?
Okay. Now this this will largely constitute what you define as a gaff. So, for example, like a duplicate, I guess, could fall into that realm.
Yeah.
Because obviously it doesn't belong in the same decks. I always carry a duplicate, absolutely, because there's just so much good stuff.
Is it always the same card, or is it just any random card?
I just whatever,
For me,
use an old deck and then
I always keep a duplicate 4 of clubs in my
That's
deck.
really interesting.
For me, I can remember it. So whenever I'm done with the deck, I'll take the 4 of clubs out and I have a little pile. So I'm always ready to just put a new 4 of clubs in my deck. So
another one I can always carry with me is a blank face.
nice.
And then lately, a warp card.
Hey, flex. Nice,
No, but
nice.
Yeah, the gaffs I carry with me are pretty minimalistic. I definitely don't carry anything too crazy. Like, I don't carry, I've got like that, that moving hole card. And never take that out of the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. There's so many crazy gaff cards out there, but when it comes to real world performing, you really don't need much of that. So for me, I always keep 1 duplicate card, 4 of clubs. I mark the corner of 1 card
for
one routine.
Armstrong routine.
I don't know what you're talking about. And then I also I keep 1 extra card that has a different colored back in my pocket in case I do a version of Chicago Open or something. So a lot of the times, even though the decks that I have, like I buy them in bulk from Costco and it's like half a red and half a blue, I always seem to be using a blue deck. So I'll keep a extra red card in my top jacket pocket. But as far as gaffs goes, that's all it is. Like I have experimented with other ones. Like I've experimented with a gaff box and I've experimented with a gaff card that allowed you to do a really hands-off haunted deck. But the problem was it staying on you throughout the night would actually warm the card up, and gaffs don't do so well when they warm up because they change and they don't
warp, they don't
work
match
as
the
well.
deck.
Yeah.
You want to know something just interesting?
I
by the
do.
way? This
Please.
is completely side noted.
Tell me.
But do you remember I think it was the last podcast, maybe the one before, where we were talking about, we got a question that said like, do you make up your own tricks? And if not, then why? And blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and I was talking about this, that I came up with my own handling for the pip matrix.
Right.
Right. Now, I didn't know, this is completely unbeknownst. Do you know who invented the pip matrix?
Would I know this person?
Actually, now you would, yes. But because I've mentioned him many times recently.
Doug Conn.
Doug Conn.
Oh, shit.
Doug Conn invented Pip Trip. It's called Pip Trip. Yeah, he invented it, which is crazy to me because I've just been chatting with this guy all the time. And he recently gave me like the PDF to his book.
Holy crap.
And there it was. The OG creation of Pip Trip. It was just in the book. I was like, get fucked. I was like, that's some funny stuff.
Wow.
But the reason why I bring it up though is because we were talking about gaff cards. And Nicholas Lawrence recently created this trick. I think it's called VPR4 or VPM4, something like that. Now, this is an example of a gaff card, which is like just insane, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it's literally a 1-card pip matrix.
Nice.
It's all
Nice.
literally like you can wave your hand and the pips just go to the corners. It's crazy.
Have you used it in a video yet?
No, I haven't got it in the mail yet. He only made 100 of them. Wow. And I straight up ordered one because I was like,
All right. So keep an eye out on that from your 365 series.
mad respect for the creator. But yeah, Doug Conn invented Pip Trip, man.
Damn. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, so
Thank you. Wow.
yeah.
All right. So Odd, I hope that answers your question. In real world performing, you really don't rely much on them because they can really fail. You mainly want to be relying on your skill and yourself when you're performing out in the wild, as you say.
Not only that, if you're going to use like a gimmick, I think it's something like a gimmick like this, for example. Like this is a gimmick. You wouldn't know it. It looks like a wallet because it is, but it's a gimmick.
Right.
You know? Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what it does. just know that, that's something that you can carry on you at all times, and it's not going to matter. Another thing is like there are certain wrist watches you could wear, for example.
Oh, wrist watches.
A wrist watch?
Not this one.
Just
This is a
like if
legit
you're thinking,
muggle watch.
because we only talked about like hard gaffs. He was asking about gaffs in general. So
it's hard to find those shells at the beach, isn't it? You've got to go to the right beach.
like I said, I'm not going to tell people what it is, but it's like the one. It's probably the one gimmick that I actively keep on me all the time.
Nice. All right, question from Farmy. Farmy again, long-time listener.
Hello guys, my name is Fami from Tunisia. I hope you're doing well. So let me jump into the question, okay? So my question is, in my country we don't have a PayPal, so I can't buy books or tricks or nothing, So, and I want to make my career more professional. So what's the advice? What can I do for that? And thank you.
Sign up to our master's class.
I think there is an abundance of magic online.
Definitely. There are ways that you can get a hold of it too.
Yeah. And
even if you don't have a PayPal.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't pay via PayPal, there's many other options, normal credit card, that kind of thing. YouTube, you're going to start learning the foundations from YouTube already. Jason has a bunch of tutorials on his channel as well. You can really...
And say that with a little less begrudgingness, would you? God damn.
There's a bunch
of reveals.
He's got a sprinkle of tutorials on his channel.
I don't have that many. I've got like 50. No, I don't have that many. It's like 10 or 12 or something.
Yeah. Look, Farmy, I think, there's not much to say about this question.
Plenty of ways to learn. I think if you're really looking to find some magic, this is my recommendation. Go to Penguin Magic and Illusionist and Theory 11. These are all magic sites that you can go and buy magic from. But every single one of them has like an hour-long 12 tricks for free. It's kind of like an entry for trying to get people to get into magic.
Yeah.
But there's some good stuff. Like there's actually some good stuff in it. Like there's the haunted matches in one of the haunted match where it just lights itself.
Yeah.
It's just in there.
Wow. Yeah. All right. I think we've probably got enough time to squeeze in another question then.
Probably another 4 or 5 questions.
Okay, we'll just keep going. All right, this is from Dom, our buddy Dom from South Africa.
Hey, Dom.
Hey, Magic Guys. It's Dominic from South Africa, and I'm back with another question. So when I was 10 years old, I went to this really cool place in Cape Town called the College of Magic. Now, the College of Magic had this library where you're able to take out DVDs. And my favorite DVDs to take out were the David Copperfield TV specials from the 1970s to the 1990s, where he'd perform these amazing and beautiful stage illusions, which I really enjoyed to watch. So my question to you guys is, what are some of your favorite Magic TV specials that you've enjoyed watching?
Boom.
Yeah, nice 33-second clip. Thank you, Dom. Appreciate it. 33 seconds.
You know what's going to be crazy? For this question specifically, I can't answer it. I've never ever watched a TV special.
What?
Seriously, I've never seen a Magic TV special.
Not even David Blaine's TV specials?
Never seen him.
Dynamos?
Nope.
Cosentino's?
I vaguely saw a bit of it and stopped watching it because that was awful. But but yeah, I haven't really watched any.
So how would you see people perform magic? From the people that we admire.
So with David,
have you ever seen David Copperfield do any magic then?
I've seen clips, but I've never seen a special. So I couldn't.
What is happening here?
I couldn't tell you any. Yeah, crazy, right? Because all the magic that I've watched has been mostly parlor stuff, mostly parlor magicians and stuff like that. I've never really watched I never watched Grand Illusionist. I've obviously seen the clip where he vanishes the Statue of Liberty. I've seen the clip, right?
But you haven't watched the whole special.
I've never seen the whole special. Never saw the whole special.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and I've listened to his podcast and all that sort of stuff, but I've never. Yeah, it's weird, right? Weird. You would think that I would have, but I just haven't. You're shocked. Our friendship is on the ropes.
I feel like I don't even know you.
Because I know a lot about magic, right? But there you go. Well,
holy crap!
That's it.
Make this easy for Jason. Put some links into people's specials that he should watch in the comments. Holy crap. You know, our buddy Christopher Wayne, he has all of the specials.
That's crazy.
Of Copperfield. Bloody hell. I mean, I thought I was bad because I hadn't watched them until like last year.
Oh, so come on, man. You've got 1 year on me.
But no, okay. So, but you know,
crazy.
Let me dive into ones I have watched. I've watched all of David Blaine's specials, and they get better every time. His most recent one he put out during COVID, and it was kind of like it was a bit of a rush job. Like they had all this extra footage from celebrities he'd performed to, but they were all like over Zoom or using cameras or just extra clips that they didn't use in the last special, and that was really cool to see. And yeah, I think I've taken inspiration from, you know, lots of his work. I don't think I've seen all of Dynamo's because he has a lot of different episodes, but I've definitely seen enough to, you know, have been inspired by his work as well. Trying to think, like you have to watch Copperfield's ones, which you have done. And who else is there? Like, obviously, Penn and Teller, they put out specials.
DMC.
Yeah, DMC, actually, he has his specials on Netflix. He has a series on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically like at the end of each episode, he attempts one of those historical effects that you read about, like the Indian rope trick or the, you know, being buried alive. He does all of these famous things at the end of each episode. And the thing I found with his series was it's shot really well. Like it's shot really well, but I got quite bored towards the end of the season of it. So I watched maybe the first 5 episodes and then I just found it a little bit mundane in the content and stuff. Although the magic looks like flawless. It looks like too perfect almost. But didn't watch the whole thing. Justin Willman's Magic for Humans would count as a special, I guess. Have you watched Magic for Humans at least?
Watched clips of it, never watched the series, no.
You've never fucking watched Magic for Humans. It's on Netflix.
Do you know what the problem is though?
You.
No, there's a reason why I don't watch the specials. It's because I just find them really boring. I'm fucking with you. No, I just I don't know what it is, man. I'm actually just not a TV guy. Like seriously, I'm just not. I can't really watch like I find it even hard to watch like video tutorials on stuff. I find that hard. Because I'm just there's something about sitting in front of a computer screen that's like, you know, just watching something that's not, I don't know, it's not productive.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, don't get me wrong. I know that there's like some crazy magic on there. Like, okay, actually, you know what? I can say I've watched a special. There is one particular magician who I know I've watched like a lot of, and that's Paul Daniels, who's hands down one of my favorite magicians. So I've watched a lot of his stuff, like a lot. So there you go. Boom, Paul Daniels. Check him out. He's good.
All right, Scotty P.
He's good.
Scotty P, got a question.
Hi guys, Scotty P here once again. I was just wondering what your Adobe Premiere Pro export settings are, whether it be for a large podcast or a smaller 365 video. I'm planning to do a lot more YouTube content this year and I could really use your help.
All right, keep this to yourself though, okay? Because I've told Josh this settings, okay? I'm going to tell you as well, but just keep it to yourself, all right?
Let's get technical just for a second. Tell us.
So here's what you need to do. I'm going to say it once, and if you don't figure it out from here, it's all on you. So the first thing is that you need to click on the video file and change that to a name that you'll be able to find and a location that you're going to be able to find it, okay? Then you're going to have to change it from VPR to CBR, okay? CBM, sorry. And then you're going to have to change the the bit rate to 40 megabytes. Okay, so once you go to CBM, there's going to be a little dial there. Change that to 40, and then make sure that you click the max render. There's 2. So there's one at the very bottom of the thing, and then as you're scrolling through, you'll find one as well. Those are the ones that we use. It gives you the cleanest footage specifically for YouTube, though. So it's like specific settings for YouTube.
And it will now make the export file substantially bigger, but that is so you get awesome clarity. Like I tried to use those settings for one of our podcast episodes, and because they're 40 minutes long, it was like
9 gigabytes or something.
It was more. It was like 12 gigabytes, and it was just a little bit too big.
Nice.
Nice. So I hope you.
If you didn't
that was
understand
only entertaining to Scotty, I think. But
for the rest of you,
stay fancy. Hey, finally made use of it. Buddy, that was a good question, though. That was a good question.
No, it wasn't.
Well,
was it?
For
You know
him,
what?
Because Scotty's been putting out a lot of videos.
I like Scotty. Has he?
And he's been putting out some videos. Yeah,
Some content.
been putting out content.
I like Scotty P. I like his motivation.
He's so meta that one of the pieces of content is of us reviewing his video. His headphones trick.
That's good. He's probably watching it being like, look at that fat fuck offering an opinion. I wish he'd shut up and Josh would tell me more about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super basic when it comes to my Xbox abilities are also basic.
You
but
don't even
also
have an Xbox.
I know, that's how basic I am. But my
you have an Xbox, but you don't have an Xbox.
What? What the actual fuck? But as far as export settings, I keep it super casual, and I just run with the H.264, whatever setting it is. But what he said, I took on board straight away, and I make sure I click on the file so I know where it's saving and what it's called, because that is the worst thing.
To find, eh?
Yeah, it's really hard.
You like forget to do it, and then you're like, you have to export it a second time. And now somewhere in your computer is this video file that you can't find. You don't know where it is. Somewhere on your computer.
Yeah, it's crazy. So do we take another question? Or do we,
crazy. Yeah,
we-
we had a good interruption there, remember? So this is not actually a 39-minute podcast yet.
That's true. All right, Dom, we got another question from you. We'll take it.
Hey Magic Guys, it's Dominic, and my question is, when you practice magic, do you listen to music? If so, what music do you enjoy listening to?
It's a good question. Do you listen to music when you practice magic? I imagine you do.
Yes.
Old dancer here. Yeah.
Yes.
Tiny dancer. Yeah.
I listen to music when I'm practicing magic, and I also listen to music when I'm working. So as in when I'm on the laptop writing invoices or I'm writing down ideas, I like to go online and find those alpha wave clips, and they're essentially like really calming tracks that are slightly electronic, but they're very calm, and they're supposed to just give these sort of alpha waves that allow you to think.
I listen to Blood in the Water. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's good too. It gets the heart rate up.
No, I don't.
Double lift. Push a fan. Push a fan. Push a fan back with the man.
Do you know what I do when I practice magic?
Don't tell us that.
I try to practice with one hand. No. I mean, I do try to practice with one hand, but not for that reason, obviously.
Oh man.
Boom.
Nice.
No, I listen to a lot of podcasts when I practice. Definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely a new
like
thing.
to soak up that knowledge. Nowadays, when I was younger, I mean, I only started listening to podcasts like since COVID, I think. Prior to that, I was just a idiot.
But for the viewers to know, like when we say podcast, you don't actually listen to them on a podcast app. You listen to them on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I have YouTube Red, so
Yeah.
so I can close my phone and still listen to it. So it's the same thing, really.
It's the same thing, except a lot of podcasts don't use video form, so
Isn't
they're
that
not
funny?
available on YouTube.
Isn't that funny?
Not us. We're special.
Super special.
Yeah.
Anyway, I listen to a lot of Gary Vee. There's some other magic podcasts out there. Like I started listening to that one The Magicians, I think it was called, whatever.
The Magicians Podcast.
Yeah.
That one's like the epic one because he sits down in person with like the greats.
Yeah, so I started listening to that one. That's some good stuff. I listened to Joe Rogan, of course. I listened to Joe Rogan talking to David Blaine, and that's a good podcast.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's really good. And
podcast.
one thing I found really interesting with the David Blaine episode was when he was doing the regurgitation of the fish. So he swallows the fish and then he drinks an insane amount of water.
Yeah, so the fish doesn't die.
Exactly. But when he's trying to bring the fish back, he keeps bringing the water back out, and the fish, it takes a long time, right? And then you hear David say to Joe, oh, you're going to have to cut out, like this is going to take so long. You're going to have to cut this so it just looks like it happened like in a second. And Joe says, nah, man, we're keeping it all. And that made me wonder, is that always how it happens? Like, does it always take ages to bring up the fish? So then I went back and I watched some of the times when he did this trick. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about the frog. It's not a fish. Bloody hell, it's the frog. So I went back and watched some clips, and there's a clip where he does this trick for David Dobrik on one of his vlogs, and you see a cut, a very slight cut between when he's starting to do it and then the time that he brings the frog up. There's a slight glitch, and that must be the time that they must have cut out like, a few minutes of him bringing up water, because he brings up water, feels if there's a fish there. If there isn't, he keeps his teeth closed, and then he does it again and again and again. And then I watched him do it on the special where he does it for a really famous comedian who I'm not remember. Oh, Dave Chappelle, and there's a cut there as well.
So what you're telling me is that David Blaine is a hack.
Not a hack. I think he uses camera tricks.
I don't think it's camera tricks, but yeah.
No. But you know what I mean? I found that interesting. Like, out of all the stuff that happened on there, I was like, oh, okay. Like, he was subtly hinting you could cut this to make it really cool. Joe's like, nah, man, we're keeping it all.
Something that's actually quite funny as well is, the Eric Leclerc's 365. He does that as well. He does a lot of cuts, which I never noticed as well until I started doing mine. So sometimes when I'm like struggling to think of an idea, I go to the same day that he was on, and I just, it just helps me get motivated, because it's like, all right, he still did that day, and
I'm going to copy him.
I haven't done any of the same tricks as him.
Don't lie to me.
I haven't. Even when I did the linking mints, he linked the mints. I linked it onto a
red string instead of a blue string. It's different.
Did he link it onto a string at all?
I have no idea.
That's right. So shut your fucking
You know how
mouth.
magicians say, it's different because I do it with a red deck.
No. Well, you know what I like about you, Josh? Nothing.
Thanks
for hitting that for me, man. No, but like when I say he uses cuts though, it's like he doesn't like cut the trick. So it's not like he like puts a coin here and then does a quick edit where someone takes the coin away or something. It's not like that. No, it's like, for example, like he'll have like 2 rubber bands and he like links it, right?
Okay.
And then, shows that they're linked. But then there'll be like a cut when he's coming closer to the camera or something, and then he's like stretching them, like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And it's just like
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just like subtle things like that. Like there's one where he like, where he has this card where he vanishes a phone, but he like vanishes the phone with this card, and then there's like a cut, and then he's showing like both sides of the card.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Which I thought that was interesting. Like, like he's not cheating. It's just kind of like, I guess it's like what I was talking about, how like some tricks just don't translate well on camera, and so you have to like do some things to keep the secret. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Cut a frame or two out.
And I think that's what I meant by. I think that's what I meant by David Blaine's interview, where he was subtly suggesting you.
No,
could
he's a
cut
cheating
that.
son of a bitch.
Okay.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
So
Love David Blaine.
I
Please
also
don't
love-
cancel us.
Yeah, I also love Joe's podcast. I also listen to the Impulsive podcast. I find
Yes, that's a good one too.
those boys bring on really interesting guests. And last week they even brought on.
You're gonna cut this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I just cut the moment I had to look. No, guess who they brought on as a guest last week? It's someone you've heard of.
It's the way that you sat there and you went,
It was perfectly timed.
and so you
They don't
can't
even
cut
know
it
you're
down. Are
talking
you going to
about.
play the whole thing?
So they brought on Andre Jake.
Ooh,
Yeah,
he's a big YouTuber though.
now he is. Yeah, and they
What do you
brought
mean now? For
they-
a while, like he does finance YouTubing.
That's what I'm saying. They brought him on for his Bitcoin knowledge. Yeah, so someone that we know has even crossed
He was
into
the.
another universe.
If you want to know who this guy is, he was the hands on Now You See Me.
Yeah,
You know the hands at the start where he's
yeah,
shuffling.
and he directed that epic scene of the security guards and they're checking their hands and they're flicking that card around. So
Crazy man.
yeah, so I love Impulsive.
Crazy.
I also love the classic Hamish and Andy podcast, H&A. And let me know in the comments below if you're a H&A follower. I have in my possession, thanks to my buddy Christopher Ritchie's, a Power Moves book, which they brought out in the end of last year.
Can I borrow that?
Have you been crying?
Does it look like I have been?
Yeah, he's been crying.
I haven't been
No, that's just one of the Power Moves.
Oh. That was pretty...
stuff.
All right, hang on.
Thanks, Ben. No. Could have the... fuck it. I give up. Anyway, we're still getting used to it. We're still getting used to all the sound cues. But yeah, I love H&A. I also love Flagrant 2 by Andrew Schultz and
I haven't
Akash.
listened to that yet.
Man, those guys are epic. They have... I've said this to you many times. They're in the top 10 Patreon earners. Their Patreon, which we also have, is up to 90,000 USD per month.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
For their podcast. their podcast is insane. Like, they hold nothing back. Like, they are explicit AF. But it's so funny. But it's also really smart. They're really clever in their comedy. So...
That means they're making $1 million a year.
Yeah. From their podcast.
Do they get like cool sponsors and shit as well?
They're sponsored by Blue Chew. And
you mean YouTube or
no? Blue Chew is a Viagra chewing gum. Blue Chew is like a Viagra in a chewing gum form, and they're also sponsored by.
It's interesting that you know that. Go on.
Yeah, they're also sponsored by a hair loss company.
It's interesting that you know that too.
Oh yeah, I mean,
go on.
I snort finasteride, and I can't remember the last one. Oh, they're also sponsored by like an anti-hangover drink or something.
Oh yeah, I know about that one. Don't worry. So shit. Well, so what you're basically saying is that our podcast sucks in comparison. That's what you're saying. Okay, cut that out.
So yeah, Flagrant 2, H&A. That's all I'm remembering now. Impulsive, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Gary V's. I
don't even know if it's really a podcast though, is it?
Which one?
Gary V's.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, he used to have his proper Ask Gary V episodes, which were great when you would listen to. Now it's just more clips that he's pumping out. You know,
yeah,
it's what it is. What it is, bro. So,
you know that Doug Conn listens to our podcast.
Thanks, Doug. And I noticed that big YouTube channel JS Magic has started listening.
Yes, love that guy. Yeah, we started. Well, we didn't start anything, but it's like I commented on one of his videos because he was doing an Amigo video. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good video, and then he reciprocated and watched one of mine, which was great. And now he follows me there, and now he listens to the podcast too, which is great, which is super awesome. But he's he just got verified, which is awesome news.
He's a real human now.
Prior to that, he was a robot. But he's killing it. Like, he's absolutely killing it. And his Omegle videos are actually pretty entertaining because, he posts like almost once a day as well, which is interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there are Omegle clips. So, it's like sit on Omegle for an hour, you get like 5 clips. Right?
I like his channel because he actually does videos of performing to people. And like, he does street magic. Yeah. He does Omegle. Respect, man.
He also films his gigs as well. So
fuck yeah.
There's just some good clips. Like, I've been watching a lot of his stuff recently because it's entertaining. I don't know, man. We should put a tag on there. Like, if you guys haven't seen him yet, you should check him out. Link in the description below.
Yeah. I have one question for you. How should we end our episode?
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to
like this.
Oh, just like that?
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now.
Or should we do it like this?
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.
Flying eagle.
That was just for the thumbnail. Bye, guys. Peace.